Midday basketball, birds, they go hand in hand. Handshake meme, Josh. You're starting to hear this more and more. The birds and the basketball. It's all together. Let's go out to George Brett, who looks tanner than ever down in Phoenix.
Ain't that the truth?
I have how old is George? Let's see.
Oh, good question. I mean, this feels like your area of expertise.
So he's 70. And, he's had some takes over the time, and he's a dude, right? We've heard his epic story about the time he ate crab legs in Vegas.
This is true.
We've all heard that story. And so he just has an old school point of view on baseball and some other things. He was a gritty guy. So I have a sneaking suspicion that George Brett is probably gonna say some things in the last 20 to 25 years of his life, or I just have a sneaking suspicion.
Okay.
He's gonna get real old real fast. And so here is George Brett on the idea that Kauffman Stadium will no longer exist in a couple of years, and the fond memories that he has that are attached to Kauffman Stadium.
I'd like to see a new stadium built. I know they can't do one out there. Yeah, it would be tough for me.
Pause it.
I'll probably break down a little.
So I'm sure people can't hear that. I'm positive that people can't hear.
Okay. It does look like it's coming through one channel.
Yeah, I can hear it in one ear.
Uh-huh.
So all right. I just wanted to cut that off. I just wanted to say that before we did anything else. I doubt that anybody can hear this.
Okay.
But I hope somebody can out there.
We have the text of the quote. We will read to you afterwards.
Indeed. Go ahead.
A little bit when I see the bulldozers going in there. And the thing about me, I grew up in locker rooms my whole life. And when I built this house, I have a urinal. In fact, we have 5 of them in this house. I'm going to exchange one, and I want to get a urinal out of Royal Stadium and put it in my house. That's the only thing I want. I don't want a seat. And I remember when they took down Yankee Stadium, a friend of mine was vice president of the Yankees back then, Arthur Richmond. And I called him. I said, Arthur, I'll pay for this. I want someone to go in there before they demolish that stadium and go get a urinal out of the Yankee Stadium locker room. The one that Babe Ruth went to the bathroom, and the one that Lou Gehrig, the one that Reggie. I want one of those in my house, and he couldn't get it for me. But how great would that be to have Babe Ruth's urinal in your house right now? So I'm going to get one if they demolish that stadium. I promise you, I'm going to go there in the middle of the night with the guy that built this house. I'm going to say, come on, we got to figure out how to get one of these things out of here.
I can guarantee you, and I hope everyone heard that. I have never had that thought in my entire life. Quote, how cool would it be to have Babe Ruth's urinal?
That is the money quote from that segment.
I have never heard that before. I've never thought that before. That has never come to my mind before. But may I say, Josh, our guy makes a pretty good point. It's kind of cool. I just don't know, so you're wondering the whole time he's talking about urinals. Is I tried to get one from Yankee Stadium. I want one from Kauffman Stadium before they wreck it. And you're trying to figure out why. He's clearly interested in the history of it, but then it turns out that he's kind of a collector of urinals. He has 5 of them in his house.
Yeah.
He has 5 of them in his house.
I just immediately assumed that they were functional urinals.
I immediately assumed that too.
Not
but I think this
is a urinal. We cleaned it up. It's a piece of art in our house.
No. I think he just likes urinals. He also likes history, it appears, but it definitely appears that he likes urinals as well. That wouldn't George Brett is George Brett, right? He basically built that place. He can pick whatever he wants from the stadium, and they'll give it to him.
Yeah, he just has to ask.
He'll just he's gonna get that urinal. he's going to get whatever he wants. Maybe he'll have to pay if it's this bigger item or whatever it might be. Maybe they'll give him some things voluntarily. But basically what he's telling us is that if he had his choice of the things that he could get from Kauffman Stadium upon its implosion in a couple of years, or explosion, however they do it, bulldozing,
Let Connor push the button.
that would be what I would want. If I had if we all get requests on, you can't make everybody happy because I'm sure there's more people who want to push the button. Oh man, I would feel horrible. That would be such an emotional experience if they let me push the button.
Oh, and then
Because I would be the one to do it.
Uh-huh,
I killed Kauffman Stadium. I wrecked Kauffman Stadium. But if I'm George Brett, I don't want it. Like I'm gonna pick something else. Maybe like
I want the bench from the dugout.
yeah, a chunk of the scoreboard or something like that. Like a patch of dirt or something. Not the urinal. The urinal from the clubhouse. It's a special place, though. It's a special place. Charles writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Charles.
George Brett bleeps himself twice a year. Yes, we did learn that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on out there, but I heard it too.
In the hallway, or is it in this room?
I think it was outside.
Okay.
I assume it was outside.
Sorry, not to derail.
There's nobody else in here,
Yeah.
Josh. I don't know if you've noticed this. There's nobody else in here.
I have noticed that.
Okay. But yeah, he did mention that time where he talked about the crab legs. It's good for 2 a year. It's good for 2 a year. Text from the 402. Do you think he has one of the urinal troughs? I just think he's a urinal enthusiast.
He really seems to be.
He's super into urinals.
And not because they're cool. It seems to be like a functionality thing. Like, it's so much easier to use a urinal.
He's just super into it. By the way, okay, so here's a list of the people, just for your records going forward. The YouTube heard that.
Yes.
The stream, like the tune-in / audio stream, it appears, did not hear that.
Right. I believe the radio audience did not want to. I guess that is an assumption.